The electric vehicle revolution is upon us, but is it as green and sustainable as we've been led to believe? For years, we've been bombarded with promises of affordable, eco-friendly EVs that will seamlessly replace gas guzzlers and save the planet. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and uncover the harsh realities of EV production that automakers and policymakers don't want you to know. First, let's take a ride into the world of electric vehicles, where promises soar as high as the sky but often land with a thud of reality. The electric vehicle industry is booming, with sales skyrocketing and new models being unveiled every day. Automakers and governments worldwide are making bold claims about the meteoric rise of EVs, painting a picture of an affordable, sustainable, and seamless transition away from fossil fuels. But the reality on the ground is far more complicated and troubling than they'd have you believe. Volvo's CEO boldly proclaims price parity with gas cars by 2025? Not likely, according to industry experts like Mercedes-Benz's chief technology officer. The International Energy Agency predicts over 60% EV sales globally by 2030. Overly optimistic, given the staggering amount of raw materials needed for battery production, warns Benchmark Mineral Intelligence. Promises of a smooth, hassle-free transition. Think again. Next, let's zoom into the electrifying realm of batteries, where the challenge of meeting skyrocketing EV demand collides with the complex reality of mining, refining, and harnessing an array of elements. At the heart of every electric vehicle lies the battery, and this is where things get messy. The numbers are mind-boggling. According to Benchmark, we'd need nearly 300 new mines and refineries to meet the International Energy Agency's projections for EV adoption by 2030. And we're not just talking about lithium and cobalt. There's a whole periodic table of elements involved in battery production, from nickel and manganese to graphite and rare earth metals like lanthanum and neodymium. Now, let's navigate the chaotic currents of the EV supply chain, where challenges loom large and solutions demand innovation at every turn. The challenges don't stop at mining these critical materials. The entire EV supply chain is a tangled web of complexity and uncertainty that automakers are struggling to untangle. Traditional automakers are being forced to retrain their workforces and overhaul production lines that have been optimized for a century of gas-powered car manufacturing. Battery manufacturers like Panasonic, LG, and CATL are racing to increase capacity, but scaling up is a slow and enormously expensive process that requires billions in investment. Even something as seemingly simple as copper wiring for EV chargers is becoming a bottleneck. With millions of new chargers needed worldwide, the global copper industry is already straining to keep up with demand. And let's not forget about the need for lithium refineries, battery pack assembly plants, and the intricate supply chains to support them all. But EVs have become more than just a technological shift. They're a geopolitical battleground where major powers are fighting for dominance and economic superiority. China, the United States, and the European Union are locked in an escalating rivalry, each desperate to establish itself as the global leader in electric vehicle production and supply chains. The recent changes to U.S. EV subsidies under the Inflation Reduction Act, designed to boost domestic manufacturing and energy security, have angered allies like France and Germany, sparking threats of retaliation. China's tight control over critical mineral supplies gives it immense leverage in the EV race, while the European Union is scrambling to shore up its own supply chains and avoid over-reliance on rivals. Countries around the world are imposing bans on sales of new gasoline cars with the stated goal of combating climate change. But make no mistake, these policies are also driven by economic motivations and the desire to gain an edge in the industries of the future. Lifestyle upheaval. But the harsh realities of EV production are just one part of a larger, looming challenge. Meeting our climate goals and averting environmental catastrophe will require far more than just switching from gas-powered cars to electric ones. We'll need to embrace drastic lifestyle changes that most of society has so far been unwilling to accept. Driving and flying less, walking and biking more, shifting away from meat-heavy diets toward more plant-based options, electrifying household appliances and converting homes away from natural gas, embracing public transportation, ride-sharing, and reducing private car ownership altogether in densely populated areas. These kinds of profound behavioral shifts go against the ingrained habits and cultural norms that have defined modern life for decades. yet they are essential for reducing our carbon footprints and achieving the emissions reductions needed to keep global warming under 1.5 degrees Celsius, as called for in the Paris Agreement. As you can see, the transition to electric vehicles is a complex, multifaceted challenge that has been grossly oversimplified and sugar-coated by many automakers, politicians, and environmental advocates. It's time to ditch the rosy predictions, the blind optimism, and face the harsh realities head-on. We need to approach this transition with open eyes, realistic expectations, and a willingness to confront difficult truths. Policymakers and automakers must take a holistic, systems engineering approach to address the seemingly endless interconnected issues, from overhauling supply chains and ramping up mineral extraction to retraining workforces and developing new manufacturing technologies, to building out charging infrastructure and upgrading electricity grids. Realistic timelines that account for the enormity of the challenge, as well as adequate investment and public buy-in, are crucial for success. Trying to force a rushed transition could backfire spectacularly, saddling us with unintended consequences and missed opportunities. The electric vehicle revolution is indeed inevitable, but it won't be as smooth, rapid, or painless as we've been promised. By uncovering and acknowledging the harsh realities of EV production and the broader societal changes required, we can better prepare for the challenges ahead. Only then can we ensure a truly sustainable future for ourselves and the planet. It's time to roll up our sleeves, ditch the delusions, and get to work. Do you think the EV transition is being overhyped and overly rushed? What challenges concern you the most? I'm looking forward to an insightful discussion. If you want to stay up to date on the latest developments and hard truths in the EV world, be sure to subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell. Thanks for watching.